What are the necessary skills for students who is there to step in hospitalities from a HR manager's point of view?
Well, the necessary skill sets that a hospitality or a hotel management student today needs to have is totally different from what it used to be years back, or when we were all studying. Knowledge is important. However, most hiring today is not done based on that. Most hiring today is done based on what are the core values that you have as an individual. You know, are you are you a person who has a sustainable value sets which adds value to the organization? So so we look at people who have very strong values, and these values are things like integrity, things like honesty, things like empathy for people around, things like service oriented, the mindset which is of helpful mindset, things like a collaborative approach in their personality. We look at all these aspects as a skill sets. So besides learning about your cuisine or your culinary skills or your food and beverage skills or your housekeeping skills or your front office skills, the values that you hold, the attitude that you have is extremely important for today's hiring managers. Me as a hiring manager, I've hired people who who couldn't actually speak English well, because I found something in them which is more valuable than their speech. And I've seen transformation in people within few months from the time that they were actually taken on board. I've got success stories of people who I have hired from Philippines, Nepal, Sri Lanka, India, um, you know, people from East Europe. I mean, I've hired people from all these places where I focused a lot on their values, lot on their attitudes, and sometimes I even compromise on their communication skills. If if the if the candidate has the right attitude, if the candidate has got the right value systems, a very helping mentality, service oriented mindset, absolute mindfulness in everything he or she does, it's very easy for that person to find success in whatever he or she does. So the skill sets that a hospitality students need to develop, I mean, if I may have to put them in an order, is of course the right attitude, um, a genuine interest in people, empathy, communication skills, and you know uh, ability to work with people, um, you know and someone who is very uh, quite collaborative in his approach while working together as a team. There are these are the qualities and that we look at. um, of course, I mean, skills, well, I mean, you are not that really skilled when you come out of your college. You're on a very basic level of skill sets, unless you've done a lot of extra works, you've done gone out of your way to actually learn practically while you were studying. Especially this happens in the culinary skills, where if you had actually utilized your talent, besides what you have learned in your colleges, elsewhere outside in a practical environment. I mean, that's hats off to people like that. Those Because those skill sets pay a lot. And so otherwise, from a student, what we look at essentially is the values that they carry, and the attitude that they have. So that plays a great role for me. I mean, I've had success stories of converting a drug addict into an excellent leader. So So it's just that, I mean, sometimes you really need to identify the potential in an individual and the ability to transform an individual. The ability that an individual has got to transform himself. So this is what I would look at as a hiring manager. In the last 20 plus years of my career in hiring, both at all levels, including the CXO levels, I've always looked at things like integrity, dignity, things like humility, things like empathy for people around, things like maturity. And as you go up the ladder, I mean, I look for maturity. I look for how they handle their ego, how broad-minded they are. How do they actually listen to people? Do they have a listening habit, or how do they speak their sentences? Are they too elaborative? Are they repetitive in their communication? So there are various methods, various kind of questions that you can ask people to understand their behavioral patterns, because that matters a lot in an organization. So that's what we really look at as hiring managers. So if hotel management students, hospitality students can focus more on their values, and also concentrate a lot on developing certain behaviors, or certain qualities of being mindful, being service oriented, being empathetic. This is what I would probably look at, and I would advise hospitality students to focus on, because that will help. That will definitely help in the long run, as an individual who's wanting to actually enter into this industry. So that's what I can advise all the hospitality students to focus on. And it would be interesting if they could actually get into understanding about themselves while they are actually pursuing the education in hospitality. Self-awareness, and there are so many programs available. There are so many online educations possible. Today there's plethora of information and knowledge and content available out in the out around in the internet and the platforms and the so-called platforms, for anyone to actually get into the detail about understanding oneself. I think that's more important in today's scenario. So I would urge everyone to actually be more aware of yourself, understand your innate qualities, understand where your heart lies, understand where your passion is, and also understand the value systems that you have. So these are the skill sets. These are the kind of things that you need to have as a hospitality student today. Besides what you learn from your college, technically, yes, once you have your right values, these technical knowledge, you would have anyway got it, because if you have the right attitude, everything else that you have to learn in the technical aspect of the subjects that you learn in hospitality, it falls in place automatically if you have the right values and right attitudes. So as a hiring manager, I look for these aspects in an individual. So that's where I would advise all the students to focus more on.
To be a good human resource person, what are the best qualities that you need to acquire?
I'm more of a self-made HR professional than an MBA from XLR or an IIM, And I've seen people who have come out from MBAs from foreign universities and even XLRI and IIMs and the so-called IAMs or whatever. The kind of skill sets that an HR person should have essentially is things like what Stephen Covey had said in his 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. A genuine interest in people, a genuine interest in people. And this is not that everybody will have that. I mean, these are certain qualities that you will have it deep inside you. So you need to have a genuine interest in people if you are an HR person. Simple. And you need to be extremely confidential. Qualities of an HR person is the confidentiality that he or she is able to maintain, the sensitivity that one understands or one has while dealing with people of different background, different upbringings. So I think that's another quality that an HR person should have. Observation skills, extremely important. And learning about people's mindset, a bit of psychology, a bit of counselor approach, coaching approach. That's what is another quality that an HR person should have. And when you move into a strategic role, then you obviously need to know business really well. You need to be able to be a HR business partner. So then you are into compensation and benefits, you are into performance assessments, you are into creation of KPIs and key deliverables for individuals. So these are the science aspect of HR. So you need to have skill sets developed in the science aspects of HR, which is your manpower planning, which is your manpower budgets, creation of manpower budgets, performance appraisal systems and assessment mechanisms that you do, your skill metrics that you do, competency mapping that you do, compensation planning and the grading exercise that you do in the company, policy formulations, procedure formulations. I mean, all these and employee welfare stuff. So that there are set of these science aspect of HR which you need to know. Besides that, I mean, over and above all these science aspects, or surpassing all the science aspects of HR, the genuine interest in people, mindfulness, an attitude to be of service to others. I mean, these are core qualities of an HR person. And you have to be a coach, you have to be a counselor, you have to be a trainer, you have to be a transformational coach, you have to be empathetic, you have to have great listening skills, you should be able to actually be mindful about the environment around, you should be able to have the ability to identify skills in people, and also you should have a kind of a keen sense of understanding the different motivational needs of every single individual in an organization. So these are skills that HR person needs to have, if I may say, in any industry for that matter.
Talk about what are the new process each HR in mind to meet new challenges.
Well, the industry has changed a lot. The world's requirement has changed a lot. I mean, what people today, the industry today is looking for is quite different. The new processes for HR is that the olden ways of selecting candidates is gone. Today, if I have to select candidates, especially at leadership levels, I ensure that, I mean, I don't do much of a lot of formal interviews. I don't do that. I do all my interviews informally, because that's when the person is at ease, you get the best out of him. When the person is stressed or put him on stress, I mean, you are actually getting a manipulated attitude, manipulated behavioral factors out of him. So if I have to interview a C-level person, or if I have to interview a VP level or a director level person, I kind of interview them out of office. I kind of interview them multiple times, in multiple timings, coffee, lunch, dinner, or I might even meet them, post 6 o'clock, post office time, or early morning, or on a weekly off, just to get different, you know, at different timings, at different locations, at different environment. So that's how I interview senior level candidates. Very junior level candidates, I mean, if I have to choose people at junior levels, I mean, of course, it's every question is actually repeated in a twisted manner, so without them knowing that what I'm looking at. So, and I don't look for the content of the answer, I look for how the answer is being given. So the process is that, and then that's about selection processes these days. And of course, I mean, you know, I do psychometric tests in some cases wherever required. I mean, Fyrobi is used, or I use various other tests that are very common to understand the motivational needs of the individual, the career motivations that people have, and the personality type, the type theory that I use these methods as a process, the age-old processes, but still it has certain merits, so I use that. When it comes to managing human resources, communication, networking, being in touch with the people down the line is extremely important. So I use methods of video conferencing. I use methods of video messages to people. I mean, these are the new things that I do ensure, and personal interest in every individual. That's more important for an HR. It's not very mundane, very monotonous kind of a approach. Today, people need to be recognized very personally. People are under tremendous stress situations at home, in their relationships, in their personal life, and also in their professional life. So people, the stress levels in today's individuals, especially the new generation, has really gone up. And the attention span of the new generation is very limited. I mean, they don't have that much of patience like the patience that the older generations had. So that's another challenge. So in HR, in an organizations, maintaining these people, especially the newer generation, is a big challenge in terms of how to keep them engaged for a longer period of time. So lots of activities to keep their brain active, to have more and more challenges given to them, understanding where each one finds more joy and enjoyment. So these are the challenges that HR today has got. So the processes that HR needs to follow today is to actually targeting the newer generations, which has high stress levels, less attention span, less of patience, more digital, more social savvy. So the whole approach of HR in an organization changes towards the current generation's life habits. So that's the changes that are happening. In fact, today a lot of it happens. The interactions are happening online. I've come across people birthdays being organized through online. Marriages and engagements are happening through online. I mean, things have changed a lot these days. So HR has challenge of maintaining a personal relationship more through online these days. But however, I think the genuine interest and care and love for people remain a very core element of any HR, come what may, at any age, at any period of time. that particular aspect is extremely important in any HR processes. Whatever changes, even if it becomes too digital, too mechanical, too technology driven, the need of having an HR person who's genuinely interested in people is never going to die. The only thing is the methods of expressing that genuineness of care and attention and interest in people perhaps would change, because the tools which are used to express that might change. However, the essence of being genuinely interested in people remain the same in the in any industry for that matter.
Would you mind sharing anything to my audience which I missed to ask about you?
I guess you asked me a lot. I don't think that you have missed out anything which the audiences or the listeners need to know. But if these listeners are more students of hospitality and hotel industry, you're all in the right industry, because this industry actually makes you more adaptable, more flexible, more in tune with change management, and you will never know where you end up in your career, because this throws you a lot of opportunities where you could actually find your fitment into certain fields or certain tracks as you journey through. So be very open. Let me borrow the quote from Dr. Wayne Dyer. One of my influencer in my life. He says that I guess he has taken this quote from Rumi, if I'm not mistaken. He said, be open to everything and attached to nothing. So don't be attached to anything. We've got lots of successful stories of chefs who have become facility managers, chefs who have become entrepreneurs, chefs who have become an IT person, chefs who have become project leaders, or a front office person or a general manager of a hotel company has become franchise managers, so franchise heads, or I've come across people who were general managers of hotels have become CEO and CEO of healthcare industry, insurance industry, investment. People have taken the line of investment portfolios, hedge funds. You can see a hotel management student in various sectors and any sectors. This is one field where there is so much of flexibility. There's so much of ability to adapt into a completely a new environment. People have the courage to take new challenges. People have the ability to find themselves into a field which is absolutely unknown terrain. So this course, this studies, this education makes you really bold, makes you really courageous and confident. I wasn't like this when I started studying hotel management. I was a very shy student. I was a very timid. I was non-communicative. I struggled in communication big time. So I had lots of limiting beliefs in me. But I guess the industry makes you a better polished diamond. The industry has the power to actually unearth the limiting beliefs that you already have. It has the power to kill the limitations that you have. So it kind of literally peels you out and takes the fruit out of you. So if you have chosen to be in this hospitality industry, and if most of the listeners are Hospitality students, you are in the right track. um, you will you will you will find yourself more successful than being in any other industry or in any other educational sectors. The reason being, you are molded in 3 years or 4 years time to fit into any any kind of industry. So do not get too bogged down on where you want to reach, where you want to go, where you want to what you want to achieve and all that stuff. Just do the best in whatever that you're doing this moment. The rest all will fall in place. By design, the rest all will fall in place. The more you are focused on what you're doing today and what you're doing this moment, everything else falls in place automatically. And this is something which I've noticed, because the universe makes it happen. I mean, and the law of attraction really works. So wherever focus goes, energy flows, and wherever energy flows, manifestation happens. This is something which I believe in. So if one thing which I wanted to tell, which if something which Binu had missed out asking me, is that do not overly worry about your future, but be more focused on the present. Live in the present, live in the moment, put all your 100% energy into what you're doing today, and do it the best. I mean, in the best manner. You will see success falling in place for you. You will see abundance or prosperity coming into you. You will see everything falling in place for you. I mean, and believe in one thing: you are where you are supposed to be. You are where you are supposed to be, and that's not going to change. People can criticize me for this one, but I've realized, being a meditator by myself and being a sadhaka, I mean, I have understood that you are where you are supposed to be. That's it. So my advice to all these students who are listening to this is that you are in the right profession, right industry, right educational field. You will fit yourself very well in life, and you will find yourself capable of handling challenges. Life throws a lot of challenges to you, and you will not become or subjected to things like, life is happening to you. No, you will be believing that life is happening for you, because whatever that happens around you in your life, your response to that is what your life is. So life is going to happen for you, because you are in charge of your life. So be content that you are in the right education sector. If I may add that one for Binu.
Namaste, this is Binu Kurin again. You are with me for the Dream to Destiny talk show. I know you have been enjoying Binu Prasad's interview, how you transitioned into an HR professional from my hotel management intern. Well, I did ask him a question, how he had any influence from any of his mentors. And he did say that, there are a lot of people has influenced his life to reach this level. And this question is valid in these times where I know that many people would be having a lot of challenges to themselves. They don't know which way they should be going into because their professional life has been badly hit. Maybe the personal life has been badly hit because of the pandemic. And that's the time you should be reaching out to people to take some advices. There should be people. Then it's always, there are a lot of, there is no mean of reaching out to professional coaches like us. But there could be people from the family itself, maybe it could be the immediate relatives that you can reach into. Maybe there we can openly discuss things what are the mindset you're going through. You can also reach out to your senior colleagues and discuss with them. Maybe you can also find out your own senior colleagues but whoever within the family and a known circle when you go in. The one point I would like to emphasize here is that you should be very honest with them and try to give a clear picture. And as a mentee, and the mentor also should be very having a good understanding, because there is a chances of you to criticize him left and right. Don't be judgmental. That's what advice I would like to give to the the family person. Try to help the other persons. So you try to cultivate an environment where you can openly discuss, find out a way where both of you can set a goal for each other, try to help each other, reach where it is possible to be successful. So if you can't find someone from the family or relatives or colleagues, it's better to reach out a professional coach like us. Like me, I'm a career planner who spends time with the students and middle level executives, where I will work with their passion, interest, and aptitude. We use human intervention plus technology to understand what is the passions and aptitude, and we'll try to cultivate a career path for them. So it's good to know what is your strengths and weaknesses, and your personal goal can be created out of that, so that your career is made. Once the career has been selected, I can assure you that it will be much more relaxed and stress-free life. If you're not sure what you have to do in your life, it's always a stress-free. And many of us, would be finding it difficult to find one, but that's not, you are not an exception. I'm not an exception. Everybody is trying to find out one. Once found, it's a roller coaster ride for all of you. So saying that, I think this interview would be really doing wonders to you. Please listen to that and comment on it, and I want you to really work on your dreams and reach your destiny as soon as possible. And please subscribe our channel. Looking forward for continuous patronage. Thanks once again. This is Binod Courier.